Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls. It's your boy Beaky, and I have returned for another deck build for you guys' entertainment. And today is going to be back to basic deck build. Now, if you guys have heard me say that word before, it means something very simple. It's a very simple deck, and it's easy to build for many different players, and it's usually pretty effective at what it does. Now for today, we're going to have a live gameplay session. Nothing pre-recorded. We're going to jump in some matches and experience the deck as we go. So this is going to be one of the longer videos for a deck build, but I think it'll be fun to actually show you guys what the deck is about for the newer players out there. I know I still always try to address new players in these videos, even though the game's been out for so long time. But if in case somebody new playing the game and want a deck that's has some of the newer content, the newer cards, and still want to, something that's fairly cheap, well, this is a deck for them. Now, first thing, before we go on with the rest of the deck build, we're first going to address you guys out there who went ahead and commented on my last video, and I was really appreciative of that. I was asking you guys what type of videos you guys want to see, and many of you guys say that, well, you enjoy my meme content. And one of the comments I really want to highlight right here is this one right here. He says the founder title, level 50, and he likes competitive decks, but memes are his favorite. And that's the thing for me. And some of you guys have said too, like, the thing about the meme decks is like they're really interested in there. Something you can't always get to see. They're unexpected. And that's what I love about memes and just random decks, because you can get good decks anywhere. Truthfully, like watching YouTubers, Justin Larson, me, streamers, we're not even your best place to get decks. Really, we're not. Like, just go to Legends S Deck, and a community of many players and Reddit will analyze those decks and tell you what's the most efficient deck to play currently to counter whatever's happening on the ladder for the majority of players. There are ways out there to get the best deck. And I think that's a good thing to have. And I really do like that. And that's why I'm always trying to just have a little bit more fun with my content with you guys out there. Try to incorporate you guys in the comments, throw you guys here on screen, have the Discord. I've always tried to play with you guys. Like, anybody could add me. Anybody could just send me a message and let me know that you can add me, and I will play matches with you guys. That's why I always try to do, be the community channel and add as many people as I possibly can to my friend list to have matches with you guys. And I really want to thank everybody who comments. Even when you got dislikes and, like, negative feedback, I always go ahead and mention those in my videos. And I mention, like, if that's not the type of content you guys want to see, that's perfectly fine with me. And like I said, I'm willing to do less content if you guys just wanted to have like more competitive and probably more stuff like I'm gonna hopefully show you guys today. And on my friend list, I just want to show you guys right now, if I don't add you and you're somebody who is a subscriber, I want to show you why. You gotta really let me know. As you guys will see, I have a lot of pending friend requests, guys. I have so many friend requests pending. The game used to have a limit of 100 people as on your friend list. I don't know when it increased. It might have been when I was away. I have 176 friends, so I could add some of these players, but it'd be great if you leave a comment, message me on Twitter, message me on Discord. Just let me know you added me. That way I'll recognize your name, and when you guys want to have a match with me and I'm online, I'm usually receptive to the matches. I just want to actually mention something else. A lot of times when you guys send messages, and if you like log off real quick and then log back on, the messages disappear. What I mentioned that for, a lot of times somebody will send me a message real quick. I'll go ahead to read the message, and if you guys log off real quick or something happens with your network, the message will disappear. Legends doesn't save it while you're offline. So just give a few seconds before you go offline for the person to read your message, before you disappear. But let's get into the deck build today and what the deck's all about, and I'll talk about the win ratio and what I've done with the deck so far. So Spellsword deck, let's see what it's all about. Many of you guys are gonna already know what it is, but we'll go into the info. 50 card decks. We have 50 cards that are willpower, 6 cards that's endurance, and those 6 endurance cards are actually just combo cards, like right here, Spellsword Summoning, and we got ourselves our removal card right here. We do have no javelins. I actually don't run javelins in this deck, guys, but it's 18 actions, 3 supports, and 5 prophecies. All right, guys, so there we go. All right, let's get into it in the moment. So right over here, we have a card draw right here, new card. You make a creature have -2 and they lose cover. The -2 is actually more important when you want to combo it with something like execute. This card has saved me a lot, making a creature lose -2, executing them. Same thing goes ahead with Illusionist. Bam, now you can execute a creature. It was either play Illusionist or play Piercing Javelin. and I went with having more creatures on the field compared to playing Piercing Javelin. Might be a mistake, might not be. We're going to play some ranked matches, see what happens. Over here, I wanted to play with, like, again, once again, it's not the best option, but I just can't stop myself from playing with cards I hardly ever play. And this was just one of those cards I haven't played that often, that I felt like if I'm going to be doing a new Spellsword deck, I can't just do things I've done before. You guys have seen me do token Spellsword, so I'm just like, let's throw the Favor in there. It's a decent card with plot. I mean, the plot effect is to gain health for each creature in the lane, and on top of that, you're getting 2 creatures that you could boost up with 5th Legion Trainer, or you could gain more health right here with Profiteer, and of course with Divine Fervor. And what I actually like about this deck, truthfully, is that you don't need to always get Divine Fervor to make your win. I mean, you always have so many willpower cards that you have Resolute Ally, power them, and just hit face. You're going to want to hit face pretty consistent throughout the thing, but you're going to have to still be smart about it like any other deck. Now let's talk about how I've performed with the deck so far. We're going to look at my win ratio, and I'm going to explain the losses, and they're not actually losses. This is something I talked about in my last video. So every single one of these matches I won. I've won every one. Let me explain. These 3 players right here and this player are new player. If you have titles like Forgotten Hero, or if I see you playing with like some of the new beginner cards or a beginner deck, you know, right when I'm about to win, I forfeit the match. It's how I am. I want new players to play this game. I've been playing this game since closed beta. I don't need soul gems, and I don't need gold. I just don't need any of them. I'm not trying to get a full premium deck. So if I see a new player playing the game, I remember that grind when we first started playing Legends. Legends is probably the most generous card game out there compared to Hearthstones and what's the Valve's one called? That lost like so much players, and people are upset about Artifact. I really wanted to play Artifact, but bro, I was not willing to spend the $30 and then have to buy the cards after the fact too. So unlike those games, Legends is very friendly with giving you packs and giving you coins, and you know, they have 2-hit drops a lot. But still, as the new player, I understand that maybe trying to get that first really nice deck and building up the coins and the gems. So I prefer to forfeit the matches. So yeah, guys, I actually won every single one of these matches. These were all casual matches though. And the ones that I've won, they were against, I think, new players. The only reason I can say I think, I can't be sure. They're using Forgotten Hero or the, you know, starting titles, and they're playing with very beginner-ish decks. I was like, these decks don't look like stuff that, you know, most experienced player would like, you know, on level up versions of cards. Obviously, if they're not leveled up versions, then yeah, they're new players. But anyways, let's move on from there. Let's take this into rank and just see what it could do. I am not high rank. I'm only ranked, oh damn, I'm ranked 12. I haven't ranked up at all. It's the beginning of the month. Shit, it's the second. Well, we're starting from the top, guys. I forgot that it's the second. I don't have my rank for last month. And let's go see how it is. I'll save you guys time on looking for a match, and I'll just cut that stuff out. But besides cutting out the searching for a match, everything else will be recorded. Alright, we went ahead and found our first opponent. Let's see where this takes us. I'm not sure how many matches I'll do. 2, 3. We got a Forgotten Hero. Don't know if he's... Oh, it's a guess? Oh. Well, hopefully I don't. Well, I'll do the same thing. If I'm gonna win, I will forfeit. I definitely will just forfeit and give them the win. They're gonna be playing an aggro deck. That's the one. See, that's the thing with newer players. You can be very confident that their decks are gonna be, especially when they guess, they're probably gonna be just aggro-based 2-face decks, because they usually don't have the complexity of the cards currently to play a long, drawn-out match. So we could see like imps. We could see very 2-face cards out there. Alright, here we go. So we got some zero-cost cards out there. Okay. Okay. Oh, I was kind of nervous right there. I was like, no, please don't. Okay, we'll do this.
Training is over. I hear and obey. It's time to act.
Drawing a card with Priest right now is not going to be that advantage changes to me. We could get rid of this later on with Execute. Yes, they're playing aggressive as well. That guard could hurt me.
If we die together.
Under the roll attack.
I don't think it's going to hurt me enough for me to not do what I'm doing right now.
Death to the tribunal's hunter. I am a redeemer. I am Cube.
Oh, to battle a creature. They only need 2.
I hear and
Let's
obey.
do that.
You can't defeat me.
So it would have been better off for me to get rid of this, but I'm gonna play where I'm gonna play. Let him go ahead, break the rune, give me a card, and then I'll go from there. Items. Let's see what items I get. Alright, so let me just explain, because I haven't done like a live commentary in so long that I forgot that I gotta keep talking. I'm just not playing myself. Okay, so my thinking here, why did I attack this? Yes, my opponent could break the rune, attack, and get me remove my 5th Legion Trainer. My 5th Legion Trainer definitely is a threat. Ooh, very good. Very, very good, actually, right there. I wonder if he's gonna attack 5th Legion Trainer or just gonna go face. How aggro-aggressive is my opponent?
End of the road, highest of Alduin.
How aggressive
We'll take a
are
few
you?
of them with us.
Speak, citizen.
Okay, too bad can't make good use out of that, but either ways.
Chimera, spirit of the sky, guide us.
Ita Oriel.
I will save Morrowind.
I'll see you dead.
Acknowledged.
I wasn't dependent on the prophecy, but I would sure as hell take it. Tides have turned pretty quickly. I don't want to keep the drain. Like, I want my opponents to break my runes. I need cards. That was my thing. I wanted the rune to be broken. I wanted to play off the prophecy system. I wanted to see what I was going to get. It could have been possibly a prophecy, or could have just been a card I could have used. And that's my whole thing. That's what I wanted to do, and it worked out. Alright, here perfectly. We'll transform him. So that worked out quite well. Oh no, please don't silence him. No, no, don't do it, don't do it! Oh, you... Oh, I did not want that to happen. Alright, nicely done, nicely done. Damn, man. Definitely did not want that to happen. So we could do 6 cards right here. 3 cards. We'll start off with the most obvious one. Here.
Protect us.
Okay. Now we could do Profiteer.
Preparations have been made.
The Oriel will not waste time chatting with mortals.
I will save.
Normally,
Defeat me.
you want to attack before
hear
you
and
play out
obey.
your cards, but I'm not going to break a rune. So we'll go from there. Gives me enough to get rid of both of these creatures, have removal in my hand, and have golden initiate in my hand as well. We'll go for a direct trade right here. And then we'll go from there. Oh man, I really wanted this to happen. I really wanted him to transform. Why did you have to silence my card? No. It's all good though. And like, this is how I could tell newer players too. Newer players will click on your cards. They'll take a while, read what they do. They'll click on their cards, take a while. I know longtime players will do the same exact thing, but it's just not something you see a lot of. Like, you know, players been playing for a very long time do. Even when they run out the clocks, they're usually not scrolling through their cards, or they have their mouse over the cards, because you can see what card your opponent can play. Like, yeah, I've seen somebody, like, clearly, guys, clearly, there's somebody playing newer compared to somebody like me who's been playing the game for too damn long at this point. I say too damn long, but
You
not
won't
really
foil
long.
my plan.
So we're just gonna go face.
You can't defeat me. Acknowledged.
I will save Morrowind.
So we could win the match, but like I said, when newer players, I just forfeit. I don't care.
Egg, a fine battle.
I don't care. It doesn't matter. Let's help him out. Let's give this new player some, you know, coins to buy some packs to make a better deck, so they don't have scuttlers or stuff like that. They're a guest player. They haven't even picked a name yet. We don't want to. I don't want to scare away somebody like this for the first time they're playing Legends against somebody who's been playing this game for ages. Am I dumb for doing that? I don't know. I don't know. Do anybody else does that? Does people give away free wins on the ladder just to help people out? It's just a game to me, so I don't take it that serious. So I just have some fun. So anyways, let's go ahead and find ourselves another match. And I guess that doesn't help the look of my win ratio. Like, you just keep giving away wins does not help. Just help it look nice. So I guess I can't really make a thumbnails where all those are wins. Unless I make a thumbnail where it just has a red line through the losses. Then like, no, I actually won all these matches, guys. Believe me. The deck is decent. Just try it yourself. But just before we get into another match, I didn't talk about the cost for more beginner decks. I usually always forget to talk about the cost of the deck and like why do I consider it a beginner deck or a budget deck. It's more a budget deck than a beginner deck because more beginner decks are decks where you can play with a lot of unleveled cards. So let's talk about the cost here. There are no legendary cards in this deck. That's one of my main things to have a budget deck. Reason being, the legendary cards, if you're new to the game, let's go to this little icon right here, brings you to legend. Legendary cards cost 1,200 soul gems. And if you wanted a premium version, which I'm sure some of you new players might be like, yo, that premium version looking cool or whatever, you know, a premium version of a card is 4,800 soul gems. That's a lot. That's an astoundingly lot amount. So I try to put budget decks out there that just do not have those type of restrictions. You'll be able to go ahead and just build the decks without legendaries, and then the majority of cards in these decks must be common. The majority of cards are very much common cards that are not going to cost you much to soul summon, as you will see from a common card right here, like Calm. Calm only costs us 50 soul gems to soul summons. You got a rare card. A rare card is only 100 soul gems. And rare, 50 and 100 is not a lot, guys. You could get a fairly decent amount every day by playing through the practice mode. Yes, there's a limit on practice mode on how much, but you could get a fairly decent amount from there. You get a fairly decent amount of gold every day. You could play solo arena versus arena. There's ways to play the game and unlock cards and packs without having to go ahead and buying legendary cards. And then going on to epics. Now epics is where it's going to be getting a little expensive, because for the price of one epic, you could buy a few common cards, and that's where you're gonna have to balance on what to soul trap and what to keep. Now I made a few videos on this, about 2 of them a year apart, about what to soul trap, what to keep, and man, did I get crucified sometimes. Some people are like, you don't soul trap anything, you keep it all, you never know what's going to be good for down the road. No, I've been playing this game long enough. There are some legitimate cards you could legitimately just soul trap. It's okay. The odds of you making a deck around it as a newer player, it's very slim. You're going to be as a new player, you're most likely want to climb the ladder, play the story mode, play versus. Because I've even seen people say they mostly just play the versus or the soul content. But you're going to want cards, if you're going to be playing the story mode, you want to make fun decks to play that through if you're repeating the story mode missions. And still, there are just some cards that are just, you know, they're not great. They're not legitimately great cards in many scenarios. Like, I would tell somebody to soul trap this card. Is there a play on this card as a 2-cost Khajiit? Yes, I can think of a deck to throw this in right now where she becomes a 5/5, because I think it's High Hoggroth. Oh man, I probably mispronounced it, but it's, you know, like every card you summon, it becomes their health equals their attack. Boom, you can make this a guard. It's cheap enough of a card. There's a bunch of things. It's a Khajiit. You can equip certain items to it to reduce the cost of object Khajiit. There's always going to be combos, but I always want to say, like, there are certain cards that you are able to soul trap, and especially now in 2019 with so many cards out there that you can use to make a budget deck. And especially I'm talking about this because you're going to be opening up in the packs and you're going to get certain cards. You're going to be like, this card might be good in the future, but it's like, are you really going to be using this card? No, you're probably not. And I'm just going on a rant right now. I guess this video is just turned into a damn rant. Just talking about soul trap. Like, it's not a bad card. In overall sense, there are uses for this card. I would not call this a bad card. In fact, because it can't be targeted by actions, has breakthrough, regenerate, there are uses for this card. There's decks that incorporate this card and have fun with this card. Is it the best legendary for the cost? No. It is not. So this is the type of card for a newer player. I would like soul trap this. If you got this in a pack, if you got multiple of these in a pack, that soul gem you're about to get back for soul trapping like a premium version of this is insane. Soul trap it and build a deck like this that can help you climb the ladder. Let's move on. Anyways, Mark Man. So the reason for Mark Man, you place this down, you keep the guard in hand, and then you play out pit line. Simple, long time strategy. We all know this. New players out there, you're gonna have to get used to that. You want to use Scouting Patrol, same situation. To get Pit Line out. Pit Line is a 30 cost 5/5. Really powerful card. It's something your opponent's gonna have to start focusing on, and then you're still gonna be able to keep your little bodies. Because while your opponent is focused on getting rid of Pit Line, you might be able to keep your Scouting Patrols, keep your Mark Man, keep your guard, then hit them with a Resolute Ally. Throw out Divine Fervor. Throw it out there and power them up. Illusionist, like I already stated, is for getting rid of creatures. I like RNG. I'm sorry. There's better cards you could replace this with, but I like having fun with this one, and I'm just going to keep on. I'm always going to just hide a little bit of RNG as a long-time player into my deck. So take it out if you want. If you don't want to go with RNG of this, because it may not help you at all, but it's worked out quite well for me so far. Throw it in there. This is a pretty decent card. It gives you the ability to send a creature right to the graveyard if you want to combo this with other cards like Defiler. So like this is a really great card for with Defiler. I like comboing them together, especially now with Squash the Wimpy. You have Defiler, you have Squash the Wimpy inside your deck, right? This is not in this deck specifically, but like I said, if any new players out there, these are ways you can upgrade and advance on your deck. Or if you want to make this into something that plays out a little longer, you add in Squash the Wimpy. There you go. You use this card. You send the big giant creature to the graveyard. Let's say you send something like Blood Lord. Whoa. Clicking too much and talking too fast at the same damn time. You take something like, Night Talon Lord. You send Night Talon Lord to the graveyard. You Squash the Wimpy. Well, actually, turn 4. Boom. You send Night Talon Lord to the graveyard. You get a creature in the left lane. You got a guard in the right lane. You got 2 guards on the field. This, on turn 6, whenever you have 6 Magicka, you play Defiler, you play Squash the Wimpy, you get this back on the field. If you have another Squash the Wimpy, boom, you can use this to attack opponent's creature or use it to get health. If you get this on the field as early as turn 6, that's a really big advantage, and people seeing people forfeit just after that. So it's just, that's how you build on decks, and that's how you do combos. But the main reason to have this in this deck is to play with a Divine Fervor and Resolute Ally, empowering those creatures up. If you're thinking about what card to send to the graveyard, what card not to keep, a card to be pretty confident in not keeping, you can get rid of Golden Initiate. It's not a bad card, but it's one of the least valuable cards in this deck. Having Drain is not a bad thing, but overall, you're going to actually be pretty okay with your opponent hitting you and breaking your runes, because it's just going to give you more cards to play with. That's the whole thing with it. You want to have card draw. You want to keep cards in your hand to fill out your field. But if you guys don't want to play with some of these newer cards, well, you can replace this card to one of the old classics. That's, once again, like I said, I'm trying to incorporate Isles of Madness into this deck. So it's not, I still don't think some of the Isle of Madness are the most effective cards to have in here. Like you can have something like Imperial Reinforcement instead of Golden Initiate. Yes, that's going to take away one of your 3 cost cards, but really, the Golden Initiates, like I said, in most cases, I would still prefer, like I said, to be hit, break a rune, get cards, swamp the field early, and win the match. Or even a better replacement for it is something like a pretty good early guard is Hive Defender. I know we already have the other guard here, and why you got Hive Defender? Hive Defender is one of those cards that you put. People just hyper focus on removing that card. Whether it's the biggest threat in the field, I always like cards that I call bait, and that's what feels like Hive Defender always is for me. It's a 3/6 guard, 4 Magicka. Really great card right there. Or you could drop it down for 1 if you got a Dawnbreaker. You could drop this down to 1, bam, add in a Dawnbreaker in there. That could give you some more ability to remove creatures. You can move undead creatures. You can move guard. And this actually is important these days because a lot of people are experimenting with these Isle of Madness card. And with this experimentation, there's a lot of creatures out there that you see, you wouldn't see as much. Like, I see vampires so much now because there's so many different ways to gain Magicka. A lot of people are playing this new Isle of Madness card that gives both players right here Magicka, and to ramp up to play her with Rage. So you go add that to your deck to get rid of her if you want to make sure that strategy doesn't play out, or just really any undead creature that might pop up on the field that might be a threat to you. There's so many ways to improve onto this deck, and I guess the gameplay part of this video is over. I just want to talk. I just want to talk about decks like this. It's fun talking about decks. Like other ways you could think about improving this, if you want to continue with Isle of Madness, or like, you know, switch it up and just add different cards in here. So I was thinking of trying out right here, Ball Log, just to have another option as a turn 4 guard, because let's say I don't want to use Fortress Guard. The only problem with this, it's not going to combo well with Resolute Ally, because if this is my next card, I'm not going to get this to proc. But I could take out this right here, add them in here. This will give me a way to have a heal. The heal would combo quite well with 5th Legion Trainer, keeping her alive and keeping Pitline alive. So there are a few cards you want to keep alive. It's usually 5th Legion Trainer and it's usually Pitline. So the heal would pretty much help out. And having a 2/6 guard is pretty good. And of course, once you hit it with Resolute Ally or Divine Fervor, that becomes a 3/7 guard, which is once again a pretty good card, and your opponent will have to start focusing on it. So lots of different options. I could go on for days of just different stuff you could add in here. You're going to see plenty of people suggesting stuff in the comment section. And I would just love to see other people's takes on Spellsword featuring Isle of Madness. That's my request to you guys out there watching this video, my community, the games community. What's your impression on Isle of Madness's effect on Spellsword? Did it really enhance it? Has it made it better? Or should we just go back to the core set of cards for Spellsword? Should I take out these new cards and add in, you know, the regular stuff that we're really used to from Isle of Madness? Like, should they just not be in the deck? I mean, they're the really main two right there. And I mean, this is not an Isle of Madness card, but it's a card I usually wouldn't add in there as well. Should I take these cards out, take out RNG, and just go back to what's normally has worked, tried and true? Of course, there's stuff I could go past 5 Magicka, but this is one of those Consigned decks. It's worked, it's been fun, and I'm going to keep playing it. It can be used on ladder, and I definitely think it's a decent beginner deck, especially if somebody who just came to the game, you bought Isle of Madness, and you want something to use these cards with, and that's what I'm making this deck for today. Let me know what you guys think in the comment section below. I'm really trying not to make really long videos anymore, so let me just stop. Let me stop. I will talk about this game for hours. I really would. I could have a damn podcast. Till next time, like it if you like it, dislike if you dislike it. It's all good either ways. Peace out, ladies and